You're such an asshole.
Hello, children. God, I'm tired. Very religious about the working out. Good afternoon. I'm looking for a second opinion on a potential career change. I'm a STEM guy and went into dude bro kind of management thingy. Trying to keep you anonymous here. So he's STEM, he's a real man. And then, like so many people in STEM, they get tempted by the dark side and then they go into managerial dude bro thingy. I make a lot of money a year. I have been told that I would be the next VP. I don't have a lot of faith in promises. The company recently sold out to another investor. They have not changed much yet. The one thing I have noticed is a lack of hiring of help. I have been having to work 16-hour days at times between 8 and 12 a.m. Oh, good Lord. These hours were unheard of before this. I have concerns that they would slash compensation and AI. No, AI, no, okay. In your dude bro world, yes, maybe some AI would do it, but your bigger concern is they're lying to you. You were going to be promoted to VP. Now you're not. They're stealing time from you. They're stealing money, having you work that much. And it's time to get the fuck out. Now I've developed skills in this position. I could go work for another employer. I would probably be hired in a day if things go south. I have had a problem with keeping girls interested. Now we just do a complete switch. I've had a problem with keeping girls interested. I have women ask me out pretty regularly. They ask you out. All right, you must be pretty good looking then. But they never seem to stick around. At this point, younger 30s, I'm thinking that settling down is not in the cards for me. So I was going to start living a life that would be much more interesting. Here's what I've been thinking. I go and join a union to work my way up as a lineman. I have money to buy a truck, fifth wheel, and training saved up. Why would you buy a truck and a fifth wheel? What? Why do you have to buy all those things? Why would you buy those things? If you're a lineman, I mean, yeah, you got to get to work, but they'll give you the vehicles you need. I sell my house and move to the job site. I could go hike and camp when I am off. I would probably be working the same hours, but I would have a lot more freedom. Am I an idiot for leaving this job? I feel like I am ungrateful for turning this down. But I see no reason to play it safe if I'm going to have to take care of a family. All right. So I had a couple questions. I said, how much money do you have saved up? What do you want to do in life? Any obligations like family, kids, mortgage, or debts? And you said, I have 150,000 saved up. It is in cash and precious metals so readily available. I had wanted to settle down. I grew up in a certain part of the country, so I have the mindset that the next phase of life was wife and kids. At this point, I'm a little tired of doing the correct thing, i.e., steady job, engineering degree, etc. I do not have kids. Student debt, student loans will all be paid off in 6 weeks. You got a house at a very low interest rate. Parents are taking care of it. All right. Well, here, gee whiz. So you're the candidate. Let's go through this again. So first, let's start with your current employer. Fuck them. No, you're not working 16 hours a day. They said you were going to be vice president. They've reneged on that. Now, admittedly, they've been taken over by a different owner. The new owner is absolutely screwing you guys over to get as much out of you as possible. Right now, they're laughing their asses off that you're working 16 hours a week or 16 hours a day. Sorry. No. And the fact they're doing that, again, I am very hard on people for not working. Some people just don't want to work. But then corporate America takes it too far in many cases like this, where they're just fucking you over, man. At no point is there anyone in that company saying, dude, this guy is banging out we got to get him some help or hire some people. No, they're not all about the money. They're all about the short-term easy money, which never comes, because if they thought long-term, they'd be like, we have got to get some people in here. We're going to lose our main guy. I don't know if you're the main guy, but you're certainly a load-bearing employee. And they don't give a shit. They sound like dude bros who just came in, got some leverage financing, and we'll just cut people to the bone, bro. And they're not going to, no, that someone else is in charge. Whoever promised you that VP slot is gone, and that's not happening. You're worried about them firing people and cutting compensation. How long will it take you to pay off your debts? 6 weeks? What is 6 weeks? 6 weeks. Well, you know what? Then winter would be over. Yeah, can you hold out 6 weeks? My opinion is you're ready to go now, and I would pay off you got 150,000 saved up. Debt and student loans would be all paid off. I'd pay off. You got enough to pay off your student loans unless you have some ridiculous amount of student loans. You know, 150 grand cash, pay that off. I would work a couple more, get a little bit more money, but you can go anytime. But by the end of 6 weeks, you got your debts pay off. Yeah, I'd be gone, man. The issue is what to do then. We'll talk about GURLZA. Here's what I've been thinking. I had a problem. So you could pick up a job real easily if you want. Here's what I've been thinking. I go and join the union. So now you're doing a third career. Work my way up as a lineman. I have money to buy okay, you're not buying any more shit. Why would you buy a truck, a fifth wheel, and training saved up? Oh, you sell your house and move. Okay, so you go and do van life. All right, dude, lineman, you don't just go to the site. The site is where the lines need to be repaired or built. I know you could go live on the site, maybe. I don't know. Do you want to do that? You could just sites may last longer than 1 or 2 days. I guess, sure, maybe. I see what you're trying to do. I could go hike and camp when I'm off. I'd probably be working the same hours, but be a lot. Well, all right. Let's stop and take this more reason. Have you even looked into what it becomes a lineman? Actually, I got to. Oh, by the way, shoot, I got to add this. I made a huge mistake. Thor. All right. How to be so here's what I want you to do before you do anything. Before you do anything. I want you to look up Red Pill Thor Gumroad Lineman. Right. And my buddy Thor has a course on how to become a power lineman. I want you to take that course. Please take that course. And the reason I'm insisting that you take the course is you are making a huge career change about something that I don't know if you fully investigated or looked into. Because you're giving up a really good, well, okay, you're giving up really good pay, but you're giving up a shitty job, which you should do. And I'm like, hold it. Why don't you go do your engineering thing that you got your degree in? Why don't you go work another job? You don't just become a lineman like that. You got to go to school for, hang on, how long is lineman school? All right, community college program lasts anywhere from 12 weeks to 2 years. All right, so 12 weeks on the easy to 2 years. Apprenticeships, yeah. And Thor will go over that in a lot of detail. But this isn't something that you can drop what you're doing now and go work as a lineman. There's an education process that is at minimum 3 months, minimum. And I would not be making any decisions about selling your house, buying a van or a fifth wheel, and going doing van life on a professional career that if you go and you take the courses, you're going to find out you don't like and you kind of hate. So I would not buy no fifth wheel. I would not sell your house, but I would investigate, is there a lineman course nearby? Something you could go to community college and still live at home. So don't give up your house. Don't give up your job for now. But first, why don't you take Thor's course on how to become a lineman? I'll provide that in the description below. And for those of you who are interested in becoming a lineman, please look into it. But what's wrong? You said you could get another job. Well, would the job pay? Do you need to make 180,000 a year? You don't. You got a lot of money. Just so you know, I know you're looking at making a lot of money here, but you don't need to make that much money. You got 150,000 saved up. You don't have a wife or kids now. You got a significant amount of equity in your home, and if you want to have a wife and kids, well, you got the home there. So you're about to make some drastic changes to your home ownership, your living situation, and your career when you're going to probably need a home to have a family. You don't know if you really want this career, and you have other career options. So I would definitely take Thor's course and figure out, one, whether you want to become a lineman. And if you do, okay, then evaluate, do I want to become a lineman, or do I want to go and you have a very good undergraduate degree? And you also said you could get other jobs. So I'm thinking you go into engineering of some kind. You could find some other job you're currently talking about right now, or you could go become a lineman. Take the lineman course, then reevaluate your career options. But don't sell your house or get a fifth wheel and do van life until you know what your career is. But it is established, you should absolutely get the hell out of this job. Find another career, find another job at least. And then I would evaluate what to do with the house in remote work or living in a van and all that other stuff, right? So figure that out first. But don't give up your job now. Fine, if you want to pay off your debt in 6 weeks, go ahead. I'd say 3 more weeks, build up a little bit more money, and you're done. You got enough cash. You don't need to really worry about a job for a long while. You have enough money, you can live very frugally. You could take the lineman course, go to lineman college, whatever. But you don't have to be working and sacrificing your health anymore. And I almost guarantee you what's going to happen is, and keep this as an option, this is step 0. Do your 3 to 6 weeks, however long you want to work. Make your little bit more money to pay off whatever debt. And then you put in, and by the way, you do 4 weeks. Here's what you should do: 4 weeks. Put in your 2 weeks. That'll be your 6 weeks. Don't be surprised if they say, well, we'd like you to stay on. Say, I am not working these ridiculous hours anymore. And you're going to continue to pay me that amount of money, and I will work 40 hours a week. And you're going to give me the vice president position that I was offered. That's how that would be it. That'd be how simple it is. And then all of a sudden you might have your old job that you were promised back. That might be also, and then everything else becomes academic and moot. And then of course they'll say, how dare you stand up to us, and they fire you anyway. And then you're back to square one, where you go back and you evaluate your new career options. But yeah, 4 weeks in, work, 2-week notice, you're back to 6. If they say, whoa, because I have a feeling they're probably cutting into the muscle and are running into other troubles. If you're working that much, you're certainly an employee bearing dictator. You might be vital. And then when they say, but what do I say? Yeah, well, I'm not working no 16-hour shifts anymore. I'm doing 40 hours a week, and I'm getting the vice president position that was promised. And if they say no, I was like, okay, cool. That's the only conditions I'd come back, but thank you for the employment. 2 more weeks, boom. And then I would take a break after working that, to be perfectly honest. Maybe just take Thor's class and recover and recoup. Sit down, evaluate all your employment options, and then choose the best one that is for you. Then when it comes to the gals, I have had a problem with keeping girls interested. I have women ask me out pretty regularly, but they never seem to stick around. At this point, 30 years old, I'm thinking that settling down is not in the cards for me. So I was going to start living a life that'd be much more interesting. Yes. And that may be van life. Maybe the allure of van life is awesome, and being a lineman. I'm not trying to dissuade you from it. I'm just saying it's a pretty serious time investment. But yeah, man, in general, if things are just coming to you naturally or without a tremendous amount of work, it's some variable outside of your control. It could be where you live. It's certainly, I'm going to say, it's your age. you're in your younger 30s, girls that you're dating are probably in their 20s, are, it's the environment, it's the culture. Women are not interested in getting married and having kids nowadays. If they did, just great mental exercise to do. What would it look like if women wanted to get married and have kids? If they would, well, they'd ask you out. So I'm pretty impressed with those girls. It's pretty cool, those gals. But if they would have stuck around. They would have hinted at things. They would have, but they went somewhere else. And I don't know what part of the country you're living in. Sounds like a city if they're just dating and having fun, which is fine, but doesn't sound like there's any marriageable gals there. I'll tell you this, there ain't going to be no marriageable gals on some down power line out in the remote wilderness of Utah. All right. Just so you know. But yeah, I would think the location you're in is probably part of it, but 75% of it is, culturally speaking, young American women don't want to get married. Not at that age anyway. And I know you want to get married and you want to have kids. I had a problem keeping girls interested. I have women ask me out pretty regularly. Point. I'm thinking of settling down is not in the cards for me. So I was going to start living a life that'd be much more interesting. Yeah, I think you should. Am I an idiot for leaving this job? No, you have self-respect. You're an idiot for staying 16 hours a week. Fuck that. I feel like I'm ungrateful for turning this down. No, they're abusing you. But I see no reason to play it safe if I am not going to have to take care of a family. Right. Well, you can't be a family man. You can't date. You can't be a family man working 16 hours a day. So your main life goals, and I asked, what is your life goals? Get married? I had wanted to settle down, wife and kids. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, and by the way, it's not like there's an opportunity cost. You can still get married at 40, right? Men are not women. We can get married whenever the fuck we want. Or never. Yeah, I think a little wandering in the desert. I think it'd be great if you did become a lineman, but just maybe there's other opportunities because of your education and your work experience. Maybe there's some other opportunities there. But if you put in your 2 weeks notice and they don't offer you the job and pay, and you start looking, yeah, you could do a lot worse than being a remote lineman. And I don't think you're missing out much on online or with the why. I don't think the opportunity is there. I'll be perfectly honest. And like, no, there's just no. Y'all don't. Everyone, whatever my detractors are, people who disagree with me, and I'm not even angry. People disagree with me. It's like, no, you guys don't understand that. You look at the number. You go do the research. You go have Fred, rest his soul, verify your numbers. You go look at it and say, oh my God, this is horrible. Women generally do not want to get married. They may say they want to get married, but they're certainly not putting the effort into it. I don't think you're missing anything. Again, what would it look like if women wanted to get married and have kids? Well, it wouldn't look like what it is now. And so, yeah, if the fish aren't biting, just try another hole, go do something else. And I think maybe take a lunch break. You could come back and fish for a wife later. And come back with a lot more money. And there's van life out there. You'll meet. I go hiking on a regular route. There's a lot of van life and a lot of climbers, and the girls are, they're kind of hippie chicks, but they're in shape. They're like, okay, that one's good looking. She's not fat. So I think you probably would find you would definitely find more interesting women doing van life than you would working a corporate job. I don't know how many HR gals you can date, but van life gals are probably they're going to be lefties. Help by minorities, and can we help the immigrants with it? It's like, you thank God you're one of the few that shaves your armpits. Yeah, and then with the girls, yeah, you're fine, dude. Don't have. Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing I want you to go read the book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI and the pursuit of women, so I'm not bullshitting you. So more importantly, so it's not you. There's nothing else you could do. It's not in the cards. It's out of your control. You've done your thing. That's enough. It's enough. Go live your life for you. We got one super chat. Hey, Ray John, 10 Canadian bucks. I got my driver's license at 24. Could have gotten it when I was 18. This was the biggest F up of my life. I regret it and I get sad about it. What can I do? Thanks. How long have we been telling you, Ray John, to major in engineering and accounting? Like what? I got linked below. There's a book called Bachelor Pad Economics. Read it and do what's in it. There's Worthless, the young person's indispensable guide to choosing the right major. There's the military. Oh, you're Canada. Oh, you guys don't have a military. That's right. I forgot. Geez, what are you to do? Yeah. Go become valuable. And then do valuable things for people and get paid good money and save your money. That's it. All right. Link below, Bachelor Pad Economics, and I will get Thor's course up. If you're looking to become a lineman, please consider that goes to guys. I made the mistake. Let me tell you. I'll tell you. Now I'm going to tell you a story. I made the mistake of saying, yeah, I think you start off at around 100. And they're like, no, try 200, 250. I'm like, really? But that's all in Thor's class. Again, if you want to look it up, Thor, Red Pill Thor, Lineman, Gun Road, you should find it. And I'll link to it down below. See you guys later. Toodles.